Have you ever wondered what could happen when a legendary actor and his wife are found dead in their home, surrounded by unanswered questions and strange details? This is exactly what occurred in the case of Gene Hackman, the acclaimed actor known for his iconic roles in The French Connection and Unforgiven, and his wife, Betsy Arakoa, a 65-year-old classical pianist. What seemed at first like a tragic accident quickly turned into a mystery filled with inconsistencies that raised more questions than answers. Was their death truly just a heartbreaking accident, or was there something darker behind it? On February 26, 2025, the bodies of Gene Hackman and Betsy Arakoa were discovered in their Santa Fe, New Mexico home. Hackman, who had retired from Hollywood nearly 2 decades earlier, and Arakoa had been living a quiet life together, far from the public eye. It was a routine maintenance check that first alerted authorities when a worker noticed their front door wide open. After receiving no response to his knocks, he entered the house and made the grim discovery. Hackman was found in the foyer, while Arakawa was in the bathroom. Both showed signs of advanced decomposition, indicating that they had been dead for several days. Even more bizarre was the discovery of one of their dogs, dead in a closet near Arakawa, while the other two dogs were found alive but dehydrated in different parts of the house. This was a strange anomaly. Initial observations from investigators revealed no signs of forced entry, no obvious external injuries, and no evidence of theft. To the casual observer, it might have seemed like a sad case of an elderly couple passing away in their home. But as the investigation progressed, it became clear that there was much more to the story than meets the eye. Upon closer examination, several unusual details began to surface. Near Arakawa's body, investigators found prescription medications scattered on the bathroom floor, medications for blood pressure and thyroid conditions. This raised the possibility that there may have been a medical emergency or overdose. But after ruling out carbon monoxide poisoning, tests showed no gas leaks or elevated levels in the house. Investigators turned to the medical data. The breakthrough came when medical examiners analyzed the data from Hackman's pacemaker, revealing that his heart had stopped on February 17, 2025, approximately 9 days before the bodies were found. This narrowed down the time frame of their deaths and raised a key question. If Hackman died on February 17th, when exactly did Arakawa die? Adding to the mystery was a strange detail about the maintenance worker's 911 call. Initially, he reported finding one deceased person in the home. Later in the same call, he corrected himself, stating that there were 2 deceased individuals. Was this simply a case of shock-induced confusion, or was there something more to his statement? As the news spread, more questions emerged. According to neighbors and family members, no one had seen or spoken to the couple for nearly 2 weeks before their bodies were discovered. While the couple valued their privacy, such an extended period without contact seemed unusual and raised questions about why no one had checked on them sooner. The positioning of the bodies also raised some eyebrows. Hackman was found in the foyer, suggesting that he may have collapsed suddenly. Arakawa's position in the bathroom, surrounded by medications, indicated she may have been trying to retrieve something to help him during a medical emergency. But what about the death of one dog and the survival of the others? Why did one dog die while the other survived? The deceased dog was found in a closet near Arakawa, almost as if it had sought refuge there. The surviving dogs were found in different parts of the house, dehydrated but alive. What had caused this strange disparity? Several theories began to emerge, with medical experts consulting on the case suggesting that Hackman likely suffered a severe cardiac event on February 17th, as indicated by the pacemaker data. This would have caused him to collapse suddenly in the foyer. According to this theory, Arakawa, upon hearing her husband fall, rushed to his aid, only to find him unresponsive. She may have then gone to the bathroom to retrieve his medications. But during this frantic search, she could have experienced a medical emergency of her own, perhaps a heart attack triggered by stress or a pre-existing condition. The scattered medications near her body seemed to support this theory, suggesting that she was trying to help either herself or her husband when she collapsed. But this theory doesn't account for all the peculiarities of the case, particularly the dead dog in the closet. Some have speculated that the dog may have been ill and sought a quiet place to hide, but others have raised the troubling possibility that the dog consumed something toxic, which could have been responsible for the couple's deaths. Despite thorough testing, no environmental toxins were found in the home, which only deepened the mystery. The 911 call made by the maintenance worker continued to raise questions. His initial statement, finding one deceased person, followed by a correction to two, could have simply been a result of shock. However, some have questioned whether there was more to his confusion. Investigators thoroughly vetted the worker, finding no suspicious connections or red flags in his background. He had been employed at the property for several years, and his work history was clean. Yet, the call remained one of the more puzzling aspects of the case. Another point of speculation was the extended period of time during which the couple had no contact with the outside world. While Hackman and Arakawa were known for their privacy, the complete absence of communication for nearly 2 weeks struck many as odd. Friends and family who were interviewed during the investigation noted that the couple usually maintained some contact with a small circle of trusted individuals. So, why had no one checked on them sooner? As investigators dug deeper, they examined the couple's medical histories. Hackman, at 95 years old, had a pacemaker and had struggled with heart issues for years. Arakawa, 65, was significantly younger, but she too had her own health concerns, managing blood pressure and thyroid conditions. The autopsy reports shed some light on the situation, but also raised more questions. Hackman's cause of death was officially listed as cardiac arrest, consistent with the pacemaker data. But Arakawa's autopsy was less clear. While the medical examiner noted signs of heart disease, they could not definitively determine whether she had died of natural causes or if her death was indirectly caused by the stress of trying to help her husband. The report also mentioned signs of a possible fall, but the exact cause of her death remained uncertain. The autopsy of the dog revealed that it had died of dehydration, suggesting it had been trapped in the closet for several days without access to water. This added another layer to the mystery. How had the dog been trapped there? Was it an accident, or was it part of a larger, unexplained event? The deaths of Gene Hackman and Betsy Arakawa sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry in Santa Fe. Despite retiring in 2004, Hackman remained a beloved figure, admired for his incredible range and dedication to his craft. His performances in films like The French Connection and Unforgiven earned him Academy Awards and cemented his legacy as one of Hollywood's greats. Arakawa, while less publicly known, was respected as a talented classical pianist. The couple had been together since the early 1980s and married in 1991, maintaining a relationship that lasted more than 4 decades. They had chosen Santa Fe as their sanctuary away from the spotlight, where they could live quietly and privately. One theory that gained traction involves the possibility of a delayed fatal incident. According to this theory, Hackman may have fallen and injured himself on February 17th, and Arakawa, unable to lift him or get help due to their remote location and her own limitations, may have struggled for days to care for him before succumbing to exhaustion or a medical event of her own. This theory could explain the time disparity between Hackman's death and the condition of Arakawa's body, which suggested that she had died several days later. It could also explain why one dog was found trapped in the closet, perhaps having entered during the chaos of the emergency and accidentally being shut in. But this theory doesn't answer all the questions. If Arakawa was trying to care for Hackman, why didn't she call for emergency assistance? Investigators confirmed that the home's phone lines were operational and that both Hackman and Arakawa had cell phones. Yet, no one had reached out for help. As the investigation continues, the true cause of their deaths remains a mystery, with no clear answers in sight. Was it a tragic accident, or is there something more sinister at play? Only time will tell, but for now, the unanswered questions continue to haunt those who knew them.